Cicero's quote about Durres: "I came to Durres because the city is free." Durres can be compared to the largest of the ancient and medieval Mediterranean cities. The city of Epidom. Durres was built by the Tolan Illyrians in the 13th to 11th centuries BC. On the coast of the Bay of Durres was established the first center or harbor named Durres. According to ancient authors, this city was founded by two kings of Illyrian origin, called Durres and Epidom. In the days of Emperor Anastasius I and Lucian I, the city underwent significant transformation in the urban structure, taking on the features of a typical Byzantine Christian city. Durres over the years has attracted the attention of foreign visitors. Many of them have chosen it for its history, some others for its clear coastline, and not few have checked into restaurants and hotels that serve based on local traditions, which are well intertwined with European ones. These are some of the first reasons that elevate our city in the eyes of tourists and the most successful travel bloggers of the moment. Whether we want to admit it or not, social network influence the selection of our holiday destination. Often pictures taken by our friends in these places entice and fascinate us, even making us feel jealous in a way of not being there. One such case is the newest hashtag for Durres, #ChooseDurres. To begin with, Durres is a city that has something to tell you at all the times. The streets of the city have always a history, just like any ancient city. Situated above the marine natural pier, Durres took its name from the small peninsula on which it was built. So let's begin our journey by creating new hashtags for the old city. We cannot start our guide in the city of Durres without the pearl of antiquity, its amphitheater. #Durres Amphitheater remains one of the largest amphitheaters in the Balkans. It was discovered relatively late, in 1966, by the archaeologist Vangel Toci, built during the 2nd century AD during the rule of Roman Emperor Trajan, 9080 to 117. The amphitheater remains one of the largest Roman buildings in the region, as well as one of the wonders of the time. On the stairs of the amphitheater, it is thought to have enjoyed the spectacles around of 50,000 to 20,000 spectators. Built by local craftsmen with the arena, stairs, galleries and 2 balconies or lodges, at the time the amphitheater was regarded as a colossus of ancient architecture. On the east side, the chapel has the apse with a damaged fresco and the altar. The only murals in Albania are preserved in the western part. On the left is Saint Stephen as the first martyr of the church. To his left is depicted Saint Mary as Queen of Scars. Featured in royal attire, she is presented with a royal crown, scepter and globe in both her hands. She is accompanied in both sides by archangels Michael and Gabriel. #Roman baths were discovered during the construction of the Palace of Culture in the 60s of the 20th century. Near the Roman bath was discovered the most famous mosaic of Durres, which was baptized with the name Durres Beauty. The mosaic dates back around the end of the 4th century and the beginning of the 3rd century BC. The architecture used has been quite clever, and the findings let us know that the city was clean. Durres is a city that has been fortunate to have been inhabited through its history, and it makes it favorable for archaeological research, which are always evolving. #Byzantine Forum or Rotonda is a historical monument located near the Palace of Culture in Durres. Discovered in the 80s, this forum is one of the oldest monuments in the city of Durres, which dates back to the 5th to the 6th centuries, the period of Emperor Anastas. Built in Byzantine style with a circular staircase in the center, a marble tiled floor and columns of the same material. The monument is 72 meters in diameter. From a luxurious appearance, this monument appears to have been a city's goldsmith market, which closed at night with the only gate leading to the courtyard. Some scholars have compared it to a circular forum in Constantinople, which no longer exists. While we proudly preserve the glorious square which was the life of the city, as it carried one trade exchange, the main source of revenue. Archaeological Museum is the largest archaeological museum of its kind in Albania. The museum is organized in 3 pavilions that coincides with the historical periods for which traces of the development of civilization have been found in Durres, embodied by 3,204 objects. The exhibited objects span centuries from antiquity to the 20th century, including the Turkish period. Ethnographic Museum is also a typical Dursak house of the 19th century. From some of it's also known as the Museum House of Alexander Moisiu, an Albanian actor who gained fame by performing Hamlet's role in the Vienna scenes. The most notable in this building are the ceiling, whose details have been phonetically preserved in floral and geometric ornamentations. Dedicated room of Alexander Moisiu, which has a multitude of works dedicated to the world stage actor. Handicraft room, which includes a series of works done during the communist period with materials such as alabaster, wood, copper and animal horns. The Museum of Martyrs is dedicated to the fallen during World War II. It contains the remains of martyrs who gave their lives for the liberation of the homeland and the fallen in Nazi camps. The building was designed by Durres architect Christos Sotiri and began to be built in 1967. The Albanian State Bank in Durres, today ASB, was built on November 10, 1928. Its foundations lie on the southeast tower of the Byzantine fence. Called the Great Bastion, the building was designed by Italian architects and made by Durres craftsmen. It is the oldest bank in Albania, which compositionally enters into Baroque-style works, used for the first time in our country. The Venetian Tower is one of the other works left by the Byzantine Emperor Anastas I. Its synonym is also the circular tower, which derives from its shape. The tower was reconstructed during the period that Durres was under Venetian influence in the century 15, with a diameter of 16 meters and a height of 9 meters, suitable for its primary function, the protection of the city. Medieval Hammam, or otherwise Turkish baths, are a cultural monument and value to the city. Its height reaches up to 6 meters and it is ventilated through 12 square windows, while at the apex of the dome is another half circle, which has 3 round windows and offers the missing lighting for these areas. The Wall of Port is a cultural heritage monument of the first category in the district of Durres. The walls of the gate are located about 7 kilometers north of the city of Durres in a place called Porto Romano, where the remains of the wall are still preserved, which once closed a narrow strip of land between the sea and the swamp. Nowadays only a tract about 60 meters long and a quadrangular tower 4 meters high are preserved. The shape of the towers and the construction technique differ from that of the surrounding wall of the city of Durres. Porta Castle was built in the 15th century. 6. The only tower preserved on the gate wall, both in size, placement of stairs, entrance, etc., are reminiscent of Rusov's castle in Syria, built by Emperor Justinian. The tombstone of the communist camp. The neighborhood in which the monument is located was first used by the fascists and later by the communists as an internment camp for opponents of the system. This concentration camp was an object where many freedom fighters spent their years imprisoned from many countries and the Balkans. And for this fact it was also known as the Balkan Suffering Camp in that period. The monument was erected in the early 1980s on the 40th anniversary of the country's liberation. Rodonscape. Rodonscape is one of the most interesting places in Albania. It is the largest cape in our country, a land with rich history. Here is located the Skanderbeg Castle. This castle began to be built after the first siege of Kruja in 1415. Its completion is thought to have been done around 1452. The wall of the castle of Rodon was built by Venetian masters. It reached a length of 400 meters and had round towers on the roof of the castle. The castle was built by Skanderbeg to have an open gate to the sea and to be independent from Venice. Near the castle of Rodonscape were also 4 Catholic monasteries which existed in this lonely place before the castle was built. The church of Saint Do was built with masonry of pumice stone and brick bound with lime mortar, where the Byzantine technique of collapsing was used. According to specialists, the church of Saint Do was built in the 13th to 15th century. The latter was the only object that existed until a few years ago in ruins. This monument was built in the centuries 14th to 15th, during the time this area was under the possession of the Castro family. Kruja Castle is one of the most important points of Albanian history. Before the castle was built, the area has been inhabited a long time from the historical city of Albaniopolis, where the Illyrian tribes resided, hence the name Albanians or Albanians. Kruja Castle is one of the most popular fortresses in Albania. This 804 meters elliptical fortress occupies an area of 2.5 hectares and is elevated on a rocky hill. The castle of Kruja was built during the 5th and 6th centuries. The surrounding walls are reinforced by 9 towers that were used for observation and signaling during the war. Byzantine documents mention the city of Kruja as Kroja, Krua meaning water source, and this town is said to have been named after numerous springs. The Skanderbeg Museum was inaugurated in November 1982. It is said that Skanderbeg's sword weighed more than any other sword, and no one could carry it. Near the fortress is the old medieval bazaar of Kruja. Its main features are the cobblestone streets and shop built of wood and block stoneware, which are the witness of the diverse period. To sum up, all we can say above else is, join us and enjoy the beauties Durres has to offer. So, #come and visit Durres.